Hello, I'm Sean Hoddy, and this is another edition of Lockdown Aikido or COVID Aikido. As stated in our previous videos, we are going to hold a grading on the 30th of January 2021. Hopefully that will be at our dojo, which is Basden Sporting Village. But in the event of another lockdown or further government restrictions, we will be quite happy to hold the grading via social media, via the Zoom platform. So today we're going to look at our junior orange belt section. Now our junior grades, they run from 5 years to 9 years, and you can see that our students are juniors because within their coloured belts they have a stripe running through the belts. Within those belts, within those grades, we have a Mons system. So there's 3 Mons, after 3 separate parts of the syllabus for each Mon. Get 3 Mons, then we'll go to green belt. So we've covered some of this in our previous white belt and yellow belt syllabus, but we're going to start, I'm not going to do it in great depth, but we're going to start with Unsuku. So with Unsuku, what we do, we drop our weight slightly, bend our knees, and we move forward with our left foot. So it's ich, nip, som, ship, go, look, sit, hutch, ich, nip, som, ship, go, look, sit, hutch. Then we turn ich, nip, som, ship, go, look, sit, hutch. So that's the first, or the 3 Unsuku. And we go on to Tandoku Undo. And for orange belt, first Mon, we need to do 1 Tandoku Undo. So we do them in order. We will start with the first one. So from here, left hand, left foot, left hand comes from above the head, and it's ich to centre, come back to knee. Sump, sheep, big movements. Go, rock, sit, hutch. Then we repeat. Knee, knee, sump, sheep, go, rock, sit, hutch. So that's the first movement of the Tandoku Undo. So that takes us within the syllabus. That is orange belt, first Mon. So now we do our basic techniques. And again, we've covered these techniques in the white belt and yellow belt syllabus. So we'll just go through the first 5. So first movement, so we'll be here with our partner, and we may have to do these solo. Obviously, unless you're in family bubbles or creative bubbles, you'll have to do these movements solo. So we do them slowly. So first movement, come up, come off line, shomanati. And if you look, my hands, or my right hand pushing onto the chin, is central down the centre line of my body. So show that again. So from here, so we're meeting right to right, raise, come off line, push. So that's shomanati. Next movement is Unigrammic. So we're coming off line. So from here, coming off line, rotating and push. So if you can imagine, this is their arm, so I'm rotating, breaking their balance, and I'm pushing. And this pushes their arm, and what that does, that makes them go off balance like so. So from here, break the balance, and throw. So if we look at the footwork, I'm in right posture, I step up with my left and I come out slightly. And then from here, come forward, and I'm moving into corner of the V. So from here, stepping up, rotating, breaking their balance. As they start to regain, I step through, throwing. So Unigrammic is number 3. So from here we come off line, catching, throwing. So if you look, as I come off line, I'm just dropping my hand on. I'm not trying to twist, because if you twist, you're going to compromise your own posture. So from here, just drop, catch. Breaking the balance. At this point now, I maintain this. I maintain the stretch, and what that does, that keeps your opponent's arm here, pressing on their thigh basically, and that stops them stepping away, so they're easy to throw. So from here, 1, push. If you look, it's like a V shape, so I'm coming out this way, 1, then I'm coming through, 2. That's Unigrammic. Next one is Untitled. So Untitled, we replicate the same movement. So from here, we move, strike. From here now, I drop my body weight, so I throw the arm in the air. I'm not just lifting, I throw it out. And what that does, it makes their balance go. So I throw out, drop my body weight, and then I drive through. And they're here, and what I'm doing, I'm actually taking them over that way slightly. So from here, as we meet, I'm coming off line, 1, then I strike, 2, they block, and as I do this, as we block, I drop, dropping under their arm. So this is their arm here, dropping under their arm, dropping my body weight, then I drive through for the throw. Next technique is Shiroati, so rear attack. So again, using these hips again, very important in Aikido that we use our hips. So from here, we're pushing. So we're breaking their balance, using their hips, and then we come round and we throw. The outside leg is the leg that moves. So as we've pushed, we've broken the balance using the hips here. And then from here, it's the outside leg that does the throw. So one more. So from here, hips, and then we move. Next technique is Hajiwaza technique. So we're going to the elbows, elbow attacks. So next one is Osteosh. So Osteosh, we need to break the balance out to the corner slightly. So we're here, driving back in, coming down, finish outside of knee, and we're locking. So if you make out this is their arm, we're here, pushing. This now slides up to their elbow, we come through to here, out we go, and we finish with a lock. So my thumb is outside of my knee, and I finish with a lock. So let's show you here. So we're coming out, thumb outside of knee, this is the elbow, and we control, and they're on the floor. So it's important as we move, we go back into centre to take this elbow over. So the elbow is going right over the head. So here, centre, coming through. Finish. So the next technique is Unicash. So Unicash, we start with an Osteosh movement. So from here we're moving. They're now resisting. So they're starting to drop their elbow. So what we do here, we use our hips and we drive through. So if we look, They're dropping their elbow, and then we're coming through to there for the throw. And this is the hand that does the throw. So as we come through, it's a big circle with the left hand cutting, doing the throw. And what that does, that takes them into this position. So from here, one drop. If you use your hip movement, so we're here, if you use your hips as you drive through, you get this big circular action. So from here, move hips. And we cut down right into the centre of their back. We're not taking the arm out. So the next technique we're going to practice is Hickey Stanos. So Osteos is push down, Hickey Stanos is pull down. So what we do, if that's their arm, the left hand will be underneath, the right hand on top. So it's this sort of action. So we're from here, moving, down we go. So from here, catching, move, down. So as we meet, we catch, breaking the balance, drawing out, finish. So it's important that we start to break the balance this way, and we change. So catch, breaking that balance, finish. So very important that we catch, we say like a crocodile's jaw. If that's their arm, we're catching here, catch, move, down we go. So this initial movement over here draws them offline, and then we keep stretching them out for the finish. So next technique, Unigrammic. So with Unigrammic, we're going for Hickey Stanos. And what we're getting, when we get to this point, we're getting resistance. So your opponent is pulling back. So what we do now, we keep this stretch on. So this stretch comes to here. This goes around their arm, and we throw away. So from here, catch. If you look, so now what they're doing this, they're pulling away. So as I stretch in, I maintain this straight arm. That's their straight arm. I maintain that straight arm. This is coming across their back. From here, this hooks through, rotate and throw. So the catch, right on top. Left underneath, apply the kuzushi, come into there, they're resisting, so again, centre line, they're resisting, so I step, keeping this pull on, so I'm keeping them stretched. As I go through, we throw. So from there, we move, one, starting to feel the tension they're resisting, so they're not going to go down on the lock. So from here, this is what's called Randori no Kata. A couple of moves there, we've gone from here, change, we've changed the technique. This one here, we've changed the technique. So we've gone from one technique to another. So the next technique in the sequence, in the Hajiwaza section, is called Wacky Katami. So Wacky Katami, we're coming through, we're going to meet, and then from here we're going to break the balance over, and then finish putting the lock on. So if we can imagine there's their arm, what I'm doing, the body's there, I'm breaking the balance. But I need to break the balance with my body. So this is about using footwork, like so. So it's not just forcing the arms, it's getting the body going, moving, centre line, finish, locking. So the head's here, I'm controlling my movement and I'm remaining upright in a nice stable posture. So from here, as they move, I move, finish. So that's the catch. Now my feet, I'm not doing it with my arms, it's not just my arms, my body's got to move. And we finish. Here, so we're catching, so not just the arms, body moves, keeping that centre line. That is Wacky Katami. Other. So now we're going to look at the alternative. So we've been looking at our sword techniques, because for young people sometimes it's very hard to get the visualization. So we're going to start with Hidari Men. So from here up, Hidari Men. Again, we've covered these in earlier videos. And from here, we're going to go into Migi Men. So cut, Migi Men, change our feet, come back, and we're going to move into ski. So they're going to come up to attack, and all we do is go forward into ski, and you come back. The next movement is Do. So again, the Do cut comes from here. They are doing a nice long kendo type cut, and the Do cut from me will come from above the head. It's not from the side. So it's from above the head into the armpit, move forward, and then return, and we go back. The next technique is Koti Nuki Koti. Again, we've covered this. So they're attacking this wrist. So what they're doing, they're coming off line, attacking the wrist in right posture. They have to come off line or else they're just going to get stabbed. And what I do is they come off line, I come up, I cut. So this action of turning just deflects their blade. So from here, deflects. So I'm not looking for like a baseball swing. I just up, cut their wrist and finish. So from here, all we're doing, cutting, finish. And it's the footwork. The footwork back, up, cut. So the next technique is Kaishi Men. So Kaishi Men, what we're aiming to do, let's show it with a sword. What we're aiming to do, as your opponent cuts you, you're moving here. So we're coming off line. Basically just doing this with our sword. So we're not trying to block here. Just there, off line. Elbows in, flat of the blade. So when they attack, you're not taking the edge of your blade off. So from here, then we cut. So again, because I haven't got the height, I'll use this soft toe. So as they come in, one, cut. Left posture. From here, change my feet. And then we move round. So, once again, so as they come in, I'm moving. Blocking, in. So I'm going at a slight angle, flat of the blade, cut. And it's all in one hit. So from here, cut. So as that foot lands, the end of the sword is making contact. Again, don't lean, nice posture, upright posture. If you compromise your posture, you're off balance. And you're going to struggle if it doesn't work. So we need to always ensure whether we're doing sword techniques or open hand techniques is to try and maintain your posture all the time. So from here, cut. Nice strong posture. Okay, so now we're going to look at the second Mons syllabus. So the second Mons syllabus, again we would do all the unsuku that we've just done, and then we're going into Tandoku Undo, and there's 2 sets here. So I'll cover 1 and 2. So Tandoku Undo, Jimmy, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rock, sit, touch, knee, 3, 4, 5, rock, sit, touch. Next one, up with the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rock, sit, touch. Then we repeat. 2, 3, 4, 5, big movements. Go, rock, sit, touch. So, some dojos do it slightly different, some with slightly shorter movement. Doesn't make any difference really, as long as we're following the same principle, but it's move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go, rock, sit, touch, 2, 3, 4, 5, go, rock, sit, touch. Okay, so the additional techniques that we do, so we've done the 10 Haiji Waza, 10 Ranri no Kata, finishing the Haiji Waza section. So now we're going to do the Tsukubi Waza, which is wrist techniques. So for second Mon, we need to put number 11 in, Kota Haneri. So Kota Haneri is very similar to Kota Gash, very similar to Osteosh. The Kota Gash follows on from Kota Haneri with a Kota Haneri start, but similar to Osteosh. The only difference is we're taking the hand. So we're getting this sort of position with the hand. So if you can imagine their hands there, I'm breaking the balance and I'm locking the hand, yes? And then from here, coming over the elbow, and this time it's inside of the knee for the lock. So from here is we catch, move, lock. So we've got this lock on the hand, the wrist, and from here this slides over, coming out, inside of knee, and we're locking. So exactly the same as Osteosh. It's very important as we break the balance, we go to that elbow. It's a big elbow movement. From here, locking. So from here, big elbow movement to get them going up on the floor. So we keep going and then going. Lock. Again, the finish is slightly different to Osteosh because you've got the lock on the hand and the wrist. So from here, move. This movement now, big movement for driving through. So let's start going onto the floor, so you may need to drive even further. Inside of knee, and we finish. So keep the control, so we just cut this short here. So inside of knee, and we keep the lock on. Yeah, we control, so this elbow is controlling. Okay, so that's the added on technique. So again, we're going to do added on movement for the sword. So this is from Hasso. So they're going to cut, we're going to cut down, we're going to move, we're going to move, and from here we're going to block, and then we're going to cut. So we're moving forward, back into Hasso. I come forward a little bit so there's room. Sword facing slightly back. Don't want it straight because the elbows will naturally come out. If the elbows are out, you're a target. So from here, sword facing slightly backwards. Not elbows so tight that you can't move, but comfortable. So now we're looking at third mon. That's orange belt, third mon. So for third mon requirements, we've gone over this earlier. So Kotaneri. So Kotaneri, locking onto the fingers, coming down, locking inside of knee, controlling. So we're catching. So you can imagine this is their arm, this is their hand here. Catching, locking on, controlling that wrist. Sliding up, controlling the elbow, and from here, inside of knee, applying the pressure on the wrist. So from here, catching, locking, driving up, inside of knee, putting pressure on the wrist. So I can come back here, you can see, so inside of knee. So this lies flat inside of the knee, and we're controlling that wrist. So the foot movements, again, we use the body to break the balance, not just the arms. So the body breaks the balance as we move. So from here we're not leaning. 1, 2. So this is on the forearm. And from here, driving up, control, inside, finish. So the next technique is Kotagaesh. So Kotagaesh, we start with a Tenkai Koteneri start. So we're here. As we start to move, we feel resistance. So that what they do, they're doing this. So this is the Randori principle, the change. So from here, now I keep this grip on the hand and I move out, breaking their posture. And from here I apply the Kotagaesh. They do the overarm break, fall over, then I apply the lock. So if you can imagine, I'm locking. I still, as I move, I keep my centre line and I keep that grip to here on that hand. This hand slides through, this one comes round, throw over with a Kotagaesh so they're there, then I just lock with the knee. So the lock is here. So once again, coming out, move. So we're moving in the position to break their balance, applying the Kuzushi. Kotagaesh break fall, then we finish. And again, good posture. So if we finish in this posture and they pull, you're going to go over. If you're here, you're strong. They're not going to pull you over. So our movements come from our hips. All the time of our hips. So the next part of our orange belt third mon is using the Jo. So if you we're not in a position where we can partner up with partners, or you can't visualise working with a partner doing Random no Kata, we will happily let you do the weapon sections of these kata. We'll realign the grading syllabus at a later date. This is only one grading, so we're not going to go all the way through to green belt, completely changing the syllabus. This is one grading, so it's one little part we're going to miss, and we can catch up on that. But we've got to do something, so we're going to give you additional weapons practice. So 6 count Jo Kata. So from here, we're quite happy for you to do a part of this, but I'll show it all. So six count Jo Kata. So from here we come up, come out, block. So this stays horizontal. Right hand slides up, cut, come up to the top. This drops back, so I'm blocking an attack coming into my leg here, and then from here I turn and we go back to the starting position. So once again, so from here we'll actually fairly low down the Jo, not so low that you're bending and not so high here, comfortable. So from here, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock. Ich, coming off line, ni, san, shi, go, rock. Okay, I'm Sean Hoddy. This is another edition of Lockdown / COVID Aikido. Thank you very much.